welcome to Free Flow Wednesday here on the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. So for my layout today, I took from the mood board a couple of different things, but not the colors. So, well, a little bit of the colors. So what I'm doing here is I am creating some embellishments with some distress ink and a background stamp from Hero Arts, and I'm going with some of the textures that are in the mood board and a little bit of the colors. So I'm using some grays here, and then I have that background stamp, which is a burlap kind of a design, and I'm going to use it to create some really fun texture on these circles. So I took from the mood board a lot of the texture, not the lace, but like the velvety, the burlap, the kind of like the idea of like the dried grass and the dried leaves and the gray colors, because I want to use pictures of my boys, and I wasn't sure that lacy umbrellas and lavender was a good idea for photos of boys fishing, actually. So I'm pulled the grays and a little bit of the browns and a lot of the texture. So what I did was I just flipped my background stamp right over, and I used it to create some fun textures and to play a little bit with my distress inks. So right now I'm misting the stamp. I've inked it up with the distress ink, and I'm just pushing those circles down into it to get some texture, some light gray texture on it. And then I'm just having a good play. So this background stamp is from Hero Arts. It's a burlap background stamp. I'm not sure if it's available or not. I have quite a collection of wood block background stamps that I just love, love, love. I take super good care of them. They're my favorite stamps. And I do use them, but I haven't used them recently, so it's been a long time since I've used them. So I was really happy to be able to get this one out and to use it. And I just love them. I love using them like this to create embellishment and to create texture. And most of the background stamps I have are like this one: grid designs, small print florals, little things like that. So I'm just playing. I'm just adding some water, and I'm adding some texture, and I'm adding some distress, and I'm just kind of letting everything mellow out and dry off to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and work on those arrows. So those circles are actually the insides of a die cut, a 12 by 12 die cut that I binge cut, and I clean my rubber stamps. If you ever watch my channel, you know that like my clear acrylics, I just kind of blow whatever. And so now I'm going to take these arrows and I'm going to heat emboss them with this beautiful, beautiful embossing powder from Emerald Creek that I got at the Wild Whisper shop, and it's called Verigris Sparkle. I did not put me embossing them completely onto my video because I am the messiest embosser. I do not have a good heat embossing technique. And at one point I flipped one of the arrows. You notice there's an arrow missing because I flipped it over while it was still hot and not dry yet, and it totally burned my hand. So I felt like those things didn't need to be seen on camera. And but I love that embossing powder. Oh my goodness, it's so, so, so pretty, you guys. It is so nice. You get it at the Wild Whisper shop. That's where I got mine. And it has these like, it's green and it's got these like copper flecks in them. It's gorgeous. And I am not a huge user of heat embossing or embossing things, but I really think I'm going to be using that particular embossing powder a lot because I just love it. So I'm using a just lovely go-to page design. It's a page design that I know a lot of different scrapbookers. I've seen it done a lot of times. I know it's not anything new or exciting. I'm just cutting up scraps into blocks of color and creating a diagonal kind of patchwork or grid work of different pattern papers, and then I'm going to fill them up with some embellishments. And so everything's going to get a hit of Hickory Smoke Distress ink, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay them down. Just make sure that you have patterns that go well together and that they don't touch each other and that the lines don't mix. Like it's not hard to do. this kind of a page design, and now I'm going to go ahead and just tuck in some of those lovely little circles that I created. And this type of page design is really, really good for scraps, and it's really good for just, it's just really, I really like this page design. I have multiple layouts with the same idea, maybe slightly different, but the same kind of idea. And this is just like this is a go-to page design for me. L-shaped designs, T-square, like T designs, and this. Those are my three ones I really kind of just go for. So I'm going to work on my title, and my title is going to include 1, 2, 3, 4 different fonts, and it's going to say 3 kids, 1 lake, endless fun. Except it should say 3 kids, 1 pond, endless fun, because that is not a lake. It really, really isn't. But of course, it didn't dawn on me that I should be putting pond and not lake until it was already glued down with tacky glue, like quick dry adhesive, so it wasn't coming up. So we have 3 kids, 1 lake, endless fun. Oh well. So now my next step is I'm going to fidget with embellishing. This actually has a face page with lots of journaling, so I don't need journaling. And I actually chose this photos and to do this page today because the face page that it's going to be with in my album uses a lot of that Wild Whisper Designs Adventure collection, which is the line that a lot of these pattern papers are from. And so I wanted to finish it up. So I get to this point in my embellishing, and I decide that I need to go grab some more supplies. I wasn't liking those big wood circles as much as I thought I maybe would. So I went way back into my stash, put the stuff I had pulled away, pulled out some enamel dots, and again fidgeting. I fidgeted with these arrows. I love them, but placement was a little bit hard because of course I had destroyed one of the arrows when I burned my hand, so I only had 3 where I had originally planned on 4 when I had kind of sketched this layout out and figured out what I wanted to do. But I did, instead of those big wood circles, I grabbed these wood veneer stars. So I still had the wood that I wanted, but in a smaller dose of it, in a little bit of a different shape, so it didn't look so heavy and crazy. So now I'm adding some staples, because I think outdoorsy photos, boy photos, I love staples. I think they're a lovely little touch to pages like this where you have lots of little bits and you can, kind of put them in there like they're stapled to the page, and I think that it's a really neat look with this kind of a page design. So I'm going to say 90% of these pattern papers on this layout are from Wild Whisper Designs Adventure Collection. The only one that I know for sure is not is that Harlequin paper with all the different shades of green, and that is from a really, really old Webster's Pages collection. I have a stash of Webster's Pages supplies because I just love them. They're lovely, but I tend to hoard them and not use them. So I'm trying to go through my older supplies and add those to stash kits and get them used up. My last little touch to this layout is some Hot Fudge Shimmers Vibes, some splatters, and that will complete our layout for today. I thank you so very, very much for joining me on the Crafty Maven Getaway. I hope you enjoy the rest of this week's inspiration, and that maybe you'll take some inspiration from our mood board and come play along with us. Have a wonderful day. Bye!